class. My name is Ivan. So, CAPTCHA. Have you ever gone to a website and tried to log in, but you read with this button? Well, this button is actually responsible for a lot of things, specifically in cybersecurity. With CAPTCHA, this button is an oddly simple statement, but it actually combats a lot of hacks and a lot of bots from logging into various communities and databases. So, 83% of you have first-hand experience with CAPTCHA. You've shown that you have the most experience with the image-based version of CAPTCHA. This isn't the only version of CAPTCHA, it's just the most common at the moment. There are many variants of CAPTCHA to verify that you are not a robot. After doing a reasonable amount of academic research through peer-reviewed articles, I will present to you the history and evolution of CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA has been around for a while and more effective every day. Overall, CAPTCHA has served through different methods and reinforcements for cybersecurity in both the past and present. And so I will begin the evolution of CAPTCHA. To begin, I'm going to talk about the origin of CAPTCHA. In the past, it started to focus on 1996 to the early mid-2000s, where major variants developed that are still relevant today. Older periods were known for the text-based CAPTCHA and the audio-based CAPTCHA. And another version of CAPTCHA, which was less common, was the video-based CAPTCHA. According to documentation by Miriam Gurar and others titled Gotta Captcha 'Em All, published October 2021. The idea started in 1997 when a company called Alta Vista developed the first practical example of CAPTCHA, which processed and reverse engineered popular optical character recognition software, also known as OCR, to harden recognition and distortion of text at the time. Early in the 2000s, the pioneer of CAPTCHA, Von Ahn, coined the term CAPTCHA, also known as completely automatic public Turing test, to tell computers and humans apart, and improved it to be more user-friendly. Practical implementation at the time was documented by Xu Xin and others in a document called A Survey of CAPTCHA Technologies and Distinguished Between Humans and Computers, published in September 2020. This included text-based and audio-based CAPTCHAs, which were simple and widely used even today. These use distorted digits, specifically the text-based one, and characters that are difficult for a machine to decipher, but easy for humans to comprehend. It requires your users to input text into the website in order to be verified. This started in the 2000s, but since have been improved with 3D and animated text. Similarly, audio-based uses distorted audio and asks users to input what is said using background noise and sound effects, which was made to sort of compensate for those who are visually disabled. The less common, but among earlier stages, was the video-based CAPTCHA, seen on the right of the PowerPoint. This was documented by Miriam Gurar's Gotta Captcha 'Em All. In the late 2000s, contributors created the video-based CAPTCHA, which required users to describe what watched videos with keywords. Although this form seems very effective on paper, it wasn't very effective at the time and became less common because videos could be described in many different ways. So people got very irritated by it, which is why you might appreciate the text-based and audio-based CAPTCHAs even more. Now that I've covered the history of CAPTCHA, let me introduce and present where we are now. The most major CAPTCHA company now, Google, announced that most models of CAPTCHA at the time were being solved by AI with a 99.8% accuracy. As a result, weakness in security was crucial. So, as a result of that, trying to make a new effective model was very important and came to creation of many new variants and versions. New edition of CAPTCHA, created in 2014, was known as the reCAPTCHA. This was documented by Miriam Mehrez and other authors in an article titled Pishi, Click the Image and I Tell If You Are a Human, published in April 2017. The 2014 version of reCAPTCHA includes the addition of common models and image-based CAPTCHAs, something you may be familiar with. It requires users to click images or spliced images, and was very common and effective strategy to combat against text recognition, because a pool of images is harder for a bot to recognize compared to text. In 2017 came the additional release of reCAPTCHA v2. This was documented by Miriam Guller and others in an article titled Gotta Capture 'Em All as of October 2021. In order to reinforce the first version of CAPTCHA that I talked about, came the new version, v2. And you may be familiar with this one, I'm not a robot button. This is a mechanic that basically goes through an algorithm and it fights robots with robots. The button checks this algorithm or AI and will see if your activity on Google or on the internet is similar to other humans. And if it is not, or it will fail you and force you to take the image-based CAPTCHA instead. And if it completely outright thinks that you are a bot, then you will get blocked from the website. Now, in 2022, invisible CAPTCHAs. Official documentation from Google developers titled Choosing the Type of CAPTCHA, written in July 2022. In an attempt to make the not a robot CAPTCHA even less irritating to take, Google has implemented a user-friendly CAPTCHA known as the invisible CAPTCHA. The CAPTCHA is hidden entirely in the browser. You won't even have to see it. The CAPTCHA basically takes your activity and gives you a digital badge that claims that you are not a bot. By doing this, users can have a much easier experience on Google or any website that uses their processes. The best CAPTCHA is no CAPTCHA at all. So, overall, CAPTCHAs have been around for a long time, and public domains on the internet have been using them as long as bots and brute force hacks have been around. Throughout time, it has been serving its purpose. The internet would be a much more irritating place to navigate without it, organized or not. And the proof of this is, more than half of you in my survey have shown that you have received less spam messages than you do phone calls, a more sort of vulnerable form of communication aside from the internet. I think CAPTCHA will continue to explore and improve over time and hopefully secure the internet even more than it is today.